topic before us today is clarity. Clarity on business goals and clarity on financial goals. So we're going to start with the first one, the clarity on business goals. In your own opinion, why is it important to have clarity on business goals? So Richard says it's important to have clarity on business goals for planning purposes, just first to monitor progress, Veronica to keep you focused. If we invited the Super Eagles at Kasarani National Stadium to play with the Harambee Stars, but no team is allowed to score goals, would you pay money to attend the game? Would you attend the game? Everybody say no, neither would I. That's a boring game. What for? What am I there going to see? You know, it is the whole idea of scoring goals and missing some goals that makes life interesting. It creates some emotions. Although it's painful when it comes to business and real life when we miss our targets. The idea of setting goals, when you hit them, you're encouraged, you're motivated, you're inspired, you're excited. And when you miss them, you learn the lessons, you adjust. That's the essence of setting goals. When you have clear goals, and I think many of you told me this, that helps you keep focused. And somebody said you avoid irrelevant activities. You're not sidetracked by so many businesses. It helps you to monitor progress. If you don't have a target, you can't measure progress. And finally, the strategies. How do I move from the first lap to the second lap to the third lap? If I have clear targets, then I can have strategies for each quarter, for each year, for each season. What are your top 3 business goals? Let me hear from you guys. Let's engage. Madrin Joker hit 1 million mark in sales in a month. I like that. It's specific. Let me pick a couple of goals. An example, just on your screen. Of course, the first goal of any business is profitability. That's always number 1. Marketing, growth, customer relations, employee welfare, business processes, business innovation, business sustainability, corporate social responsibility. I want us to have clarity on those 3 goals. And then I'm going to give you an assignment to do number 4 in class. Let's start with number 1, profitability. So let me just point out 3 of the things you have said as strategies. Increase your sales, reduce cost, and sometimes you can make more profits by increasing the cost, the price, but that's debatable. What are the results of doing these 3 things? If I do that, number 1, the revenue will increase. I'll have higher cash flow if I can cut on my costs. If I can increase the price and I don't lose the customer, holding all other things constant, then my revenue will increase. Those will be the direct results. How do I know I have achieved that? That's what I'm calling the indicator, the metric, the measure. If we are talking about profitability, then the indicator of profits is net profit or gross profit. It's either of the two, because we are talking about profitability. That's what we are talking about. So if we are discussing about sales, if I increase sales, my gross profits go higher. If I reduce cost, if I reduce expenses, my net profits go higher. If I increase the price, my revenues go higher, my gross profit goes higher. But if I cut on the cost, if I cut on the expenses, then my net profit will go higher. What's the point? The point is this: I must have an indicator, a measure, a metric to know whether I am making profits. My second business goal is marketing, because marketing is critical. Without it, I can't even achieve my profitability goals. So let me pick 3 of the things you said in marketing, some 3 of the strategies. 1 is branding. Most of you say that. Number 2, promotions. I can promote stuff in a supermarket. I can promote stuff on social media. I can promote stuff on billboards, flyers. And of course, another one is increasing my marketing channels. Like we are saying, digital marketing channels. It could be billboards, could be newspapers, could be radio, could be face-to-face, door-to-door. All those are marketing channels. So we have clarified the strategies. We have clarified the results. So we are saying the sales will increase. I'll have new customers. I'll have new marketing channels. How do you know your sales have increased? Exactly, sales volume. What is the measure of new customers? Yes, the records. That's right. You want to have records for customers. So we are talking about number of customers, number of new customers. And you also want to check retention. How many existing customers do you still have? How many new customers do you have? Number 3, the market share. Well, the marketing channels may not necessarily increase your market share, but all these efforts will increase your market share. What are we doing? we are trying to clarify our marketing goal. Before we are able to identify its strategies, its results, and the measure, the indicator, we have not clarified that goal. When we ask people about business goals, one of the goals they gave, you told me, is about growth. Business growth. So one of your business goals is business growth. I wrote 3, growth in sales. If my sales have grown, my business has grown. Number 2, growth in stocks. If my stocks were worth 1 million and now my stocks are worth 2 million, then there is some growth. Another way is growth in stores. I'm talking about outlets, branches. If KCB had 100 branches 50 years ago and now has 200 branches, that's 100% growth in number of branches. If I've grown in stocks, if I've grown in the number of outlets, what will be the result? So my results will be I'll have more revenue, another result, more sales, another result, more stores, direct results of growth. What I'm saying is that if my sales are growing, I'll have more revenue. If my stocks are growing, I'll have more sales. If I have more outlets, of course, if that's a growth strategy, there will be more stores. And the measure of this, the indicator then, is the gross profit goes higher, the amount of revenue goes higher, the number of stores go higher. These are measures. Number of stores. I had 4 branches, now I have 5 branches or 6 branches. That's an indicator. It's a measure, it's a metric. And I want to request you to follow the method I'm giving you. Identify the strategies of achieving the goal, what will be the result, and what will be the measure. Only then can you say, I have clarified this goal. What can be some of the stumbling blocks to achieving the goals we have set? Now, there are many things that can destroy our business. One of the things that can hinder you achieving your goals is lack of clarity, and that's what I was trying to solve today. Another one is lacking ambition. Number 3, being over ambitious. Number 4, unexpected obstacles. Number 5, losing motivation. So how do we deal with it? Number 1, lacking clarity. What do? Specify goals. Number 2, lacking ambition. The other one is being over ambitious. Being over ambitious is overcome by setting realistic goals. I'll not deal with it today. Number 5, losing motivation. If you want to maintain motivation in what you do, add value to people. Now, this brings me to my second agenda today, clarity on financial goals. Why should you set financial goals? Without goals, your journey to financial security is likely to meander. I want us to refer to what Morgan Housel told us about financial goals. Number 1, investments grow over time. Number 2, long-term mindset in our financial goals. And number 3, define enough for you. So if investments grow over time, what do? Invest early. If long-term mindset is what we are looking up to, then I suggest today, focus on what counts. What is to define enough for you? Staying wealthy needs humility. What are your top 3 financial goals? This is my suggestion for you. Get a journal and write your personal financial goals. For many people, managing expenses is a financial goal. Paying off debts is a financial goal for many people. Saving for retirement is a financial goal for most people. Building an emergency fund, building investments, improving your credit score, giving to charity. Let me just mention some of the things we can do to hit these financial goals. When it comes to managing your expenses, here is my suggestion. Have a budget. Number 2, to pay off debts, my suggestion for you, start with the smallest. Number 3, save for retirement, and I suggest work with a retirement fund. If you're talking about building an emergency fund, we have a lot of organizations, especially in the financial sector, that can help you build an emergency fund. Building your investments, if you follow what most people tell you, including Morgan Housel, including me, I'll tell you, try the money market and the real estate, not either. And then to improve your credit score, there are many ways of doing it, but the bottom line is this. You've got to monitor your payment history. Give to charity. Here is my suggestion for you. Give at least 10% after tax. I'll give you my personal formula. Charge 10% of our income. Charity, 10% of our income. Passive income, 10%. Active income, 10%. Our expenses, 10%. Let me explain quickly. Passive income, the difference between passive income and active income. Active income is money we put in business. Now, I'll tell you my personal rule about my finances. As a rule, I give before I spend. I don't spend before I give. But there are three things I don't compromise. Number one, I don't compromise church 10%. I don't compromise charity 10%. I want to ask you for a favor. Just give me a comment, please. I want to ask you to go to my Facebook page. I've written a word. I've written just finished teaching on certain business and financial goals courtesy of KCB Bank. I've written those words on my Facebook page. Why am I asking you to write a comment? So that those who did not attend class today may see it and attend. We have another class this July. I did a summary of this whole book. If you don't have the video, ask me. You can go even to my YouTube page. I did a summary in my YouTube page, and KCB has a presentation I made on the summary of the book. Let me invite Nyabura to coordinate feedback.
Thank you very much, Doc, for taking us through this session. We are so grateful. Like we said when we were starting, this is session 4. Today there seems to be no questions in the Q&A, but let me take some that were put in the chat.
And you can also take the comments.
Yeah, Lucy had put this on the chat. She had said, and maybe you can comment on it, giving goes beyond money. Giving goes beyond money.
Yes, giving goes beyond money. You can give of your time. Can I agree with her? Whoever asked that, let me tell you something we did when our children were young. When our children were young, we used to go to a home in Kayole. It was called what? Can I remember the name? It was a home for the orphanage. Forgive me, Nyabura, I forgot the name. Masay, if you can remember the name, remind. So there was a home for the orphans in Kayole. I would go with my 2 children and give shoes and clothes. We would give food. And the reason I was going with my children, I wanted to teach them giving. And I started going with them to that home when they were just 5 years old. I would go with them to give food to these children. It was a home for the orphanage. And I can't remember the name, forgive me. We were giving them our shoes, our clothes. You can give in kind. And you can also give time. We were spending time with those children and playing with them. You can spend time with an old person, with a sick person. You can give of your time because time is money. I agree. Giving is not just money. Everybody has something to give.
Thank you very much. There is also the request of the book you've mentioned at the Sui, and quite a number of people have asked about it.
The one by the rabbi or the one you're doing as KCB? I can mention both.
Yes.
So the book we are covering as KCB Biashara Club is this one, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is the book we are covering. And if you didn't listen to the introduction when I did a summary, you can go to my Facebook, to my YouTube. You can get a summary of this book review, or you can go back to Biashara Club videos. You can get this. This book is a game changer. Trust me. This is great. But I can also tell you, try this by this rabbi. He's trying to explain the secret of the Jews. The page name is on the screen.
Okay, we put the 2 books. Please remember that we are covering The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. That's the book we've been covering. We started around February. We'll be going all the way to September. Please remember, this book, if you attend 70% of the classes, is when you get certification for it. We'll be looking at the risk and luck in the later this month on the 27th, if I'm not wrong. We'll be sending this plus the notes. We will send the presentation on your email, the one you joined with for this session. Also the recording, as you've been told, you just go to the KCB group page, YouTube, you'll find the abridged version there. Like I said, please let's take care of copyright. Please do not infringe rights. Please buy the books as written by the authors to also ensure that we support their businesses as is expected. We are not promoting any of the books, they're just reading texts to ensure that they support our businesses. Thank you so much for being here. How do you join Biashara Club? You need to be a KCB account holder. Then you opt in. We'll send in the opt-in form when we are sending for you the notes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and see you in about 2 weeks. God bless you. Thank you.